The pilot had merely been taking a nap on the fighter jet. Woken up by his teammate, found the fighter jet had crashed into the sea. There was still a Japanese Zero fighter in the sky, diving rapidly straight toward them. The two saw it and immediately jumped into the sea, successfully dodged the bullets fired by the fighter plane. But fortunately, the Japanese fighter was running out of fuel, didn't continue launching the attack. Because of that, the two escaped a disaster. But right then they found their own fighter jet was sinking rapidly into the sea. Without fresh water and food, the two completely fell into a desperate situation. And even worse, John suddenly felt pain in his chest. That's when he realized he had been shot in the chest. To prevent the blood from attracting sharks, Mike quickly helped John bandage the wound. Looking at the ongoing battle in the distance, Mike believed they would be rescued soon. But after waiting a long time, they still didn't see any friendly forces. John also started to lose consciousness due to blood loss. To prevent him from falling asleep and never waking up, Mike directly pinched John's wound. John instantly woke up from the pain. To make it easier to observe the planes in the sky, the two chose to lie back and float on the water. Soon they saw a group of American fighter jets arriving. Seeing that, John quickly waved for help, but because they didn't have any signal flares, and the fighter planes were flying very high, the two could only watch the fighter planes fly away. When night fell, the two were floating on the cold sea surface, surrounded by complete darkness. Because John was losing too much blood from his wound, he had to force himself not to fall asleep. After enduring the difficult night, the next day when Mike opened his eyes, he was terrified to find John missing. But luckily, after looking around, he found that John had only been carried away by the waves. So Mike hurriedly swam to John's side and tied him and himself together with a rope. But because their bodies kept losing water, John's wound began to rot and get infected. The scorching sun above also caused both of their faces to be covered with blisters. The two were in an extremely difficult situation. Soon, because of long-term dehydration, John became very weak, and his will to survive grew weaker and weaker. Mike could only keep encouraging John non-stop. In this way, the two held on for half a day more. But in the end, John still couldn't hold on. His face turned pale and he completely stopped breathing. Seeing his only companion die, Mike was deeply grieved. But he could only float up and down with the waves. When night fell again, Mike's strength was completely exhausted. He could only let go of John's body, then lay alone on the sea surface, waiting for death to come. Just when Mike was completely hopeless, suddenly a heavy rain poured down from the sky. Mike, long dehydrated, hurriedly opened his mouth. With the arrival of this heavy rain, Mike's will to survive was reignited again.